This is my first real vacation in 2 years, and I think I forgot I was allowed to just exist without a to-do list. I thought I knew what to expect, but still, the real Hawaii hit us like a warm floral embrace. The air, even in the airport, was thick and sweet, plumeria and island humidity mixing with surprise and excitement. As soon as we landed and stepped outside, I knew I had picked the perfect place for a getaway. But getting here took more than just booking a flight. My boyfriend is turning 30 really soon, and we wanted to celebrate the last of our 20s together. I triple-checked our flight times, outlined itineraries, and even booked in one ultimate experience for the morning right before his birthday. This was supposed to be the perfect Hawaii celebration, and it was. Just not exactly how I expected. Sometimes, the best discoveries happen when you stop trying to control everything. There's so much tourism in Honolulu and Waikiki. You just feel the vacation energy. It literally hits you in the face. And all the Hawaiian reggae music, that helps too. There's this collective permission to just slow down and enjoy life. Every day, we tried to wake up as early as we could to start exploring, to eat our way around the island, whatever interested us. So we go to the beach and we swim in the ocean as much as possible, and we just take in all of Honolulu and Waikiki and Oahu. We'd follow the island's rhythms, trying local fruits, swimming in water so clear you could see your toes on the sandy bottom. It's funny. Because I didn't like the ocean as a kid, I also didn't like Hawaii up until very recently. But what I didn't understand before was how alive Hawaii's own traditions feel. How every area, every greeting, every word is a part of a living culture. Let's get a selfie there together too. I wanted to see Hawaii from below the surface too. So good. Honolulu Snorkel sponsored us with 2 free beginner snorkeling experiences. I've always been a little nervous about being underwater or free floating in the middle of the ocean instead of right by the shore, but something about this trip made me want to push past that. This is my first time snorkeling, but we're gonna get the full rental here, and I booked one that doesn't have any sharks. I had a GoPro with me to film underwater as my first time trying one, and the mix of excitement and nervousness grew as we drove out more and more into the body of ocean. And then I went for it. I fully jumped off, dove into the water, and it was like entering another dimension. Swimming around in the middle of the ocean, I even caught some glimpses of turtles, but we weren't allowed to get too close. Fully geared up in the protective equipment from Honolulu Snorkel, I was just enjoying swimming and wiggling around like a kid. It was meditation, but in the most alive way possible. I started to notice the overlaps, how Japanese and Hawaiian cultures both honor ritual, hospitality, and respect for the place. It made me realize, to love Hawaii, you have to let it teach you how to belong, not as a tourist, but as a humble guest. I love Waikiki specifically because there's so much Japanese influence. At this part of the year, I'm starting to miss Japan again so much. Being able to go to places in Waikiki like Don Quixote and Mitsuwa so accessibly was amazing. Mitsuwa was like a 2-minute walk away from our hotel. I spent 20 minutes just looking at their skincare and teas, transported back to my quiet evenings living alone in Tokyo. For our first night, we were graciously hosted by the Genius Lounge, a spot right in the middle of Waikiki where all the beaches and nightlife and restaurants are. They've been open for 16 years in this very location, serving late-night explorers and locals with dishes and drinks that you can't find anywhere else. I got a pina colada, my favorite vacation drink. The flavors were incredible, Hawaiian ingredients with techniques I've never experienced, and I was so inspired. Thank you, Genius Lounge, for making our first day so amazing. I've traveled, as in I've spent time in Japan these past few years, but I was always working, always kind of hustling even when I was there. This has been my first full vacation in 2 years where I allowed myself to just fully travel and experience. Throughout the trip, I noticed my brain kept wanting to be productive. I kept wondering if I should suggest a cafe break to do some work, but I kept catching myself in the moment. Be here now. Listen to the sounds around you, a mix of nature and people, and even some hens and roosters. They're all over Oahu. Just take it all in.
You're fine. Here, and then this is the Hawaiian coffee cake. So that one tastes like coffee, cream, and sexual chocolate. Those are like our top three. No specific one.
Okay, first coffee in a week and a half. Ooh. Had to have one in Hawaii. So let's see. Solid latte. So here's the disaster that happened. I had planned this one experience as our trip highlight, a perfect sunrise horseback ride in the Koaloa Valley. I had our tickets printed out, the parking situation mapped out, and still I got it completely wrong. I put the wrong ranch in the GPS, and getting to the right one took an hour drive around the island, and by the time we got there, our horses and the rest of our group had already left. Old me would have felt like I had ruined my plan, but instead, I let it go. We ended up at this random beach with powder soft sand and liquid turquoise water. The water here is completely different from California's cold Pacific. It's like a warm bath that stretches beautifully through the horizon. And Koaloa Ranch very kindly refunded our ticket and put us on an island tour instead.
MOKAPU, Mokapu is also known as Kaneohe Bay or Kaneohe Marine Corps Base. Now, during the time of the bombing of Pearl Harbor, this was a communications base. The clouds here are always touching the mountains. This is a huge part on how Hawaii gets its name. We'll go over this more so on the back end of the tour. Your life is going to be like good things coming your way. Sorry, I don't know how to say it in English. In Hawaiian, it's completely different. But yeah, to be Kamehameha's garden. Kamehameha's garden is basically where if you were to visit the island, you would come here to the islands, you would stop here at Kualoa Bay. It's one of my favorite things that does happen. This is life taking the land back. If you're familiar with the quote that Jeff Goldblum says, in Jurassic Park, life will always find a way. And that's simply what this is. Life.
The islands are so layered with Polynesian roots running deep, and their language and legends woven throughout. There's a reverence here for the land itself, for Aina, the earth as ancestor and not just scenery. The earth to provide for everything that we need and for us to give back. In my healing journey in these past 4 or 5 years, I think I've finally learned how to connect deeply with nature.
I don't know a lot about life. Half of the day I'm just trying to survive. Stay in the light. I don't know a lot about love, but I bet it better not include giving me up. Or cut people.
And here I am. Honestly, I'm craving my routine again. I love traveling, but in doses. But I'm bringing something back with me, that permission to fully rest. On our last morning, we got some Kona coffee and desserts to celebrate. I've been drinking less coffee, but felt like I'd regret not trying this coffee. I got their specialty honey iced latte, and the air was still warm, a perfect Hawaiian morning. As I get ready to start closing out my 20s, not there yet, I want to hold on to this deep gratitude for how far I've come and for the growth that sometimes only I can feel on the inside. And now, I think I'm ready to build from that foundation.